Kanye West, better known now as Ye, is the center of controversy right now. It just so happens that I'm visiting the Holy Land, Jerusalem, where you are deputy mayor. So I must ask you, must get into this.
Yes, of course.
He called for not DEFCON, but DEFCON to Jews, using the improper spelling of DEFCON. And probably one of the most Googled words right now in the past week or so has been, what is DEFCON or DEFCON? This is a level of preparedness that the United States military uses.
Yeah.
And DEFCON 3 being one of the most alertness, right?
Yeah.
To be ready for war.
Yeah.
How do you feel, or how did you feel when you saw and heard these comments from Kanye West?
Well, Kanye West has been losing the plot for a while now. I mean, he started attacking his own wife a couple of years ago and, you know, went into the whole pro-life thing and got involved in that. And look, what bothers me is that the guy has a huge following and that you could say this man suffers from mental instability and mental health, and we have to be sensitive to that.
Right. But he's spoken out. He's been open about his struggles with bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
That he's manic depressive,
Yeah.
and that he suffers from paranoia.
Yeah. So we know that about him, but and so if everybody would have said Kanye has gone nuts the way he was speaking, I mean, I don't know whether you know, but he was speaking pro-life against Planned Parenthood, things that us liberal people, you know, and so we could, but the thing is that people are justifying him. People are coming out and saying, no, that's not anti-Semitism. Saying you're going to launch a war against the Jewish people, that's not anti-Semitism. Well, what is it then? And what's disturbing about this is how people have normalized anti-Semitism, how every other discrimination is become a no-no in America. Against, of course, the black community, against the LGBT community, as it should be, against the Latin community. That's a no-no. But somehow, to be anti-Semitic is still, well, maybe because they're white, so it's okay. What is, first of all, since when are Jewish people white? We're from the Middle East, A. But B, what I'm more disturbed than Kanye's rantings of a man with mental health is the people justifying what he's saying. That's even more disturbing.
Do you feel that he's an anti-Semite? Or are you more on the, I'm not asking you to judge his mental,
Yeah.
and again, his mental condition,
Look,
and again, we want to be very respectful because mental health
Yes.
is a very real issue.
I'm a big proponent of mental health solutions. I actually created the first ever mental health expo in Israel 6 months ago. So I'm very sensitive to mental health issues. And we have a country of veterans that suffer from PTSD. Believe me, I'm there with you.
So how much of what Kanye has said and done now recently, especially with the like he said, DEFCON 3 on Jews, is you think he's unhinged or he needs help, or it's him playing us in the media and knowing what to say and how to make headlines?
I think it's a combination of all of it. He's obviously, you know, when started to look, why all of a sudden does he hate Jewish people? Why? And it turns out, and I didn't even know this until this episode, that Pete Davidson, El Gossip, por favor, Pete Davidson's father is of Jewish ancestry, and apparently that's why he's gone off the ball with this. Quien sabe?
So it might be something against Pete Davidson that dated.
And they've even broken up, so
Kim
what does he care
Kardashian.
anymore?
Right.
I know, it's
His
crazy.
baby mama, or his mother
His
to
baby mama.
Kim is mother to 4 of his children.
Yes.
Right. You are a mother of 4.
I am a mother of 4. And the most important thing I teach my children is that we have to respect the other. And that is really the most important thing. If everybody respected the other, then we'd be one and not me and them.
Talking about respect, one thing about respecting others is respecting others' opinions. You and I are both blessed to live in a democratic society where we have freedom of speech that is protected, thank God. It doesn't seem that way lately because everyone attacks you for having your own views and
cancel culture.
So let's talk about cancel culture. What do you feel about cancel? Is it proper to cancel people for their thoughts?
For their thoughts? You can't cancel people for your thoughts. Look, ultimately I'm a big proponent of freedom of speech. In the UK, I'm a lawyer in the UK, and in the UK there's a law, which I think is less in America because of your constitution, which is called a law against incitement of racial hatred. So incitement of racial hatred is if I go on your radio show and say, come on everybody, let's kill all people with orange hair. That's incitement of...
Clearly.
Yes. So, so I think that there's a fine line between freedom of speech and an incitement of racial hatred, but we have to draw that line. The line is you cannot go out from a position of power and encourage violence on any group. That is wrong, should be forbidden, and people should be put in jail and prosecuted for that.
You interpret
Yes.
Kanye's message as that. Exactly.
Again, I'm not sure whether you can say, yes, he's saying I'm going to go to war. He's not, maybe not, because he's not saying let's all go to war against the Jewish people.
You feel threatened as a Jewish person?
I think it's very sad that we're in 2022, 75 years after the Holocaust, where 6 million Jews were murdered in an attempted genocide of an entire people, and we're still dealing with this. Why have we not learned anything, for God's sake? Have we not learned anything? Why is this acceptable? Why are people still talking this way? Why are people still hating on others in this way?
Yeah, it's definitely not acceptable, and we definitely must hold hatred accountable, right?
Yes, but I tell you, cancel culture is a whole different thing.
Right.
Cancel culture is, I can't say anything anymore. I can't say anything. Cancel culture is when in a university campus, I, for being the deputy mayor of Jerusalem, are disinvited from speaking because I'm a Zionist, which is what's just happened now in, I think in Berkeley, that they've said that nobody who supports Israel can come and speak. What are you scared of? Can we not now exchange ideas? People cannot even have an opinion anymore. That I don't believe in. One is inciting violence against the people, and one is let's have an honest discussion about Israel and the Palestinians. Let's have an honest discussion about the Israeli-Arab conflict. In many campuses in America, you cannot have an honest conversation anymore. In many campuses in America, you stand there with a flag of Israel and you get beaten up. That's cancel culture. You're canceling me as a people and as a race and as a nation. Why? Because somehow you side with the other in the conflict. Let's talk about it. What are you scared of? Why can't we have an honest conversation? That's cancel culture, and that's dangerous. That's dangerous.
Chase Bank, Balenciaga, most recently his mother of his 4
Talent
children,
agency.
Kim Kardashian herself came out against what he said. Sarah Kanyes, who's director of trade and marketing at Adidas, who makes his Yeezy sneakers, which coincidentally I have on and that I like. Do you think should I stop using these shoes? Does it offend you that I use these shoes? Do you think this is the proper way to influence change and to, really tell people that are making mistakes that this is how I'm going to hurt you in the pocket economically?
It's interesting. My son is a big fan of Kanye. What do I tell him? What is he's a young Israeli man who loved Kanye, who also has those shoes. What is he supposed to think now? How is he supposed to react to this? Look, in general, I'm not a fan of boycotts. Israel suffers from this movement, this BDS movement of boycotts. I'm not a fan of boycotts. But at some point, a company has to say, are we going to allow a rabid person, I'm not sure he's a rabid antisemite, to continue? So what could Adidas do? Well, they could say, Kanye, you open your mouth on small, we cancel your contract. And then maybe he'll shut up and stop with this vitriol. They could do something. Their silence is deafening. That's the problem, that their silence. And what's even more disturbing is that Adidas has roots in Germany and with the Nazi regime. And so it's ironic and it's sad and I would rather take Kanye and educate him and help him understand how his words are hurting not just, the Jewish people, but his fans who are Jewish. You are saying to them, you are saying to those kids who grew up with him, who admire him, who respect him, you're no longer valid to me. You're not a human to me. He's dehumanizing an entire nation of people, including his fans, like my son, like you wearing his shoes. Imagine he started saying things against the Latin community. How would you feel? What would you do? Tell me.
Horrible. I feel it's probably just as bad as how I feel right now about what he said about the Jewish community.
Yes, and I would feel hurt on your behalf too.
You know, this is it's unacceptable at all levels against any humans. If Kanye is listening or watching right now, what would you tell Kanye right now? Look into this camera here and talk to Kanye.
I think that it's not too late to make things right. It's not too late to turn this around, to make this into a learning experience, to understand that different groups are human, and dehumanizing another people is not going to make you feel better, and is not going to make anybody's life better. And so I urge you to be educated and to seek help.